Hello, horse lovers. I am super excited because I'm getting ready for the Farm Wisconsin Model Horse Show, and I wanted to talk to you about one model that I'm bringing. This is Afterglow. He's one of my favorite models, and interesting story of how I got him. I was scrolling through some of the Brayer group pages on Facebook, which is a dangerous thing because there's always something for sale. So there's probably always going to be something that I'm going to see that I'm going to want. Well, I happened to see this one really beautiful model. And I messaged the seller and I said, I'm interested in this guy. And he said, really sorry, but somebody messaged me first. So I have to go with first come, first serve. And I said, well, that's fair. That's okay. But I complimented him on his work, told him how much I liked it. Well, a few weeks later, he apparently remembered me because he messaged me with a picture of Afterglow and said, "Would you like to buy this guy?" And of course I did. And I asked, "Does he have a name?" And he said, "Yeah, I named him after the Ed Sheeran song Afterglow." Oh, I won't be silent and I won't let go. I will hold on tight till the afterglow. I know how much Afterglow means to him because you don't typically name a model that you intend to sell. Well, Afterglow has done really well for me in photo shows, something that his artist was really glad to hear. And by the way, I've worked with this artist several other times. Unfortunately, I can't buy from him anymore because he lives in Canada, and shipping back and forth between Canada and the US is now incredibly hard, unfortunately. But the only thing with Afterglow was I didn't know quite what breed to show him as. I asked the artist, what breed is he? He's like, well, he's warm blood, which he is, but I didn't quite know what kind because although I love this white marking on his tail, that I thought that made him a little bit hard to place. And I messaged a lady who runs a photo show that I've entered often, and she said, I'm thinking Friesian Sport Horse, which is Friesian crossed with some kind of warm blood or Friesian Thoroughbred. Um, I wanted to be sure I got this right before I took him to a live show. And I posted a picture of him on Facebook, and I said, okay, I've shown him his Friesian Sport Horse. What's everybody else think? And the post exploded. I had people saying pony. I had people saying quarter horse mixed with some kind of warm blood. I had a lot of different answers. I especially love the answer of pony. I mean, does this guy look pony? His body type is all wrong for pony. He's obviously some kind of warm blood. Well, I looked up the original mold that was used for Afterglow. Now, Afterglow is a custom model, obviously. An artist painted him. He doesn't come in the original colors that he did. But the original model was was a portrait model actually made to look like a real horse named Idicus. I chose that particular footage of Idicus because that was taken at a KWPN show. Now, what's KWPN? KWPN is the Dutch abbreviation for the Royal Stud Book of Dutch Warmbloods. So, in other words, unless you are the best of the best of Dutch Warmbloods, you ain't in that book. So, very, very clearly, Idicus is Dutch Warmblood. Now, that same mold, with a couple of tweaks to the mane and tail, was also used for Chablis, who is a model of another real horse who was a Württemberger, which is very, very close to the Dutch Warmblood. Now, you might be wondering again about that white on Afterglow's tail and say, I haven't seen any white on any of, on the Dutch warm blood too much. Actually, there is a very famous Dutch warm blood, and I'm going to show his portrait model here. This is a portrait model of Art Deco. As you can see, he's got a lot more white on him than Afterglow has, and just as much Dutch warm blood. So, guys, sorry I kind of broke the Facebook page with that post, but debate settled. Afterglow is officially going to be wearing a tag that says he is Dutch warm blood. And a very lovely example of one, I think. So, I just had to share that story of that little fun debate that started on Facebook. And I've said in other videos, we model horse people get just slightly obsessed with our model horses. They are every bit as real to us as a living horse. Obsessive, I know, but it's fun. So, until next time, keep horses in your life, and I will see you at the Manitowoc Farm, Wisconsin horse show, model horse show.